Welcome back to MCOC AlBundyRules. Got the newest 4-minute tutorial for you here with the Hood. So giving a quick little highlights on some of what he can do. We saw that some of that invisibility. We see some of these debuffs. We see the miss is right there. We see how good he is against removing those buffs from the staggered and the hex. Amazing ability, some pretty decent damage, and putting on those debuffs like bleed and shock along the way, which is also refreshability with that heavy, as we see right on inside there, and some pretty decent damage at that. So really good utility champ. So going to start off with the big part of him is the Stagger. Stagger makes them amazing on buffs and buff heavy champs to include like this Venom. So in this case, 88% chance to stagger on those critical hits, meaning it's extremely easy to get and keep Stagger. Even once you get the Stagger, you can also refresh with the heavy that I'll be covering in a minute. So Stagger and other debuffs can refresh with the heavy, so we will see once I have it, right there you see the Stagger. All I have to do is heavy and keep it going. That Stagger stops that next buff from going, so we saw the regeneration go away. Great for Annihilus. Instead of that rod coming back on, that Stagger eliminates it, so makes it really good. Invisibility is good. This gives them higher critical damage, can also ignore armor block proficiency 75%, and can miss some attacks 45% chance. So we'll see some misses going on there. All you got to do is dash back and hold block for 1.5 seconds, easy to activate. So we'll see he might take some hits, but he misses some hits as well. S2 also activates this automatically. Even if you had just activated from the dash back, the S2 will reactivate it. And then we'll see some miss there. His signature ability is pretty nice. This makes him stun immune onto the cooldown from invisibility. You see the timer up there? It also gives a good chance, about half chance, a little over 50% chance to take 10% of the power. So power steal, so it can help a little bit of power control. So we see that timer up there on the cooldown. So that cooldown, a lot of times cooldown is bad on champs. In this case, it actually gives you some benefit. Here on our special attacks, we have this S1 right there. It's going to give some shock damage. And the good thing about the shock, as I said, you see that heavy, it can refresh it, so you can keep the shock going for a long period of time, even without after one S1. Hex S2 is a huge one here. The X, which is really gives Fate Seal and nullifies buffs. Watch all these buffs just disappear, and as long as that is up, that Hex, he can't get more buffs. And all you have to do is keep heavy in right there, and you can keep it active for a long time. This S3, the more power they have, the more damage you're going to do. It also does a bleed again. You can keep this bleed going for much longer than 6 seconds simply by keep heavies going along the way. You can get several of these debuffs, the bleed, the hex, the stagger going on, and they will all refresh. And that's a good part of using Hood effectively. So this heavy, you'll see we have a couple debuffs up there and how that refreshed them both with that heavy. And we'll see here, got several things going on from stock, power, steel, and the refresh. And then we'll see the same as well with the stagger and the bleed. So nice refreshes here. You see how Juggernaut did not activate his Unstoppable because of the Hex, and you see how I reactivate the Hex. The Hex is big on these debuff champs, the Unstoppable, Annihilus, uh, Venom. Some of these fights extremely good. Anybody who gives you a hard time because of buffs, who could be a great possibility. Not the hardest hitter, but his ability to just completely wipe out buffs is exceptionally good. And we'll see how it works very well right here on Annihilus, some of these other fights, the Wolverine, some of those. So on this tip 2, take advantage of the easy debuff. So the tip 1 was wipe out those champs with the high buffs. Tip 2 is use the debuffs. Tip 3 is use the heavy to refresh. You want to keep these active. Get them active, stack as many as you can as far as the debuffs going on, and just keep those heavies going to keep them active. I hope this video helps you use this good champion right here. Hope you enjoyed the vid. Don't forget to click on that top left icon that just popped up to subscribe. Thanks again for watching.